Are you able to stand on one leg for 30 seconds? There's a reason I'm asking you this question. It has to do with your health, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Also, we're going to talk about banning teenagers from social media. Think that could ever happen in this country? And because I'm recording this on a Friday, I have my favorite. It's News for Nerds, all coming up. But first, I have a Mindbender for you that focuses on Fridays. This happens in America about 25 times a week, but will most likely happen on a Friday afternoon between 1 and 3. What do you think that is? Think about it. I'll have a clue for you coming up here in just a moment. Okay, do you feel like you're aging well? Or do you feel like you're kind of plunging over the hill much faster than you'd like? Well, there's a new study out of the Mayo Clinic, and they claim there's a good way to determine just how quickly you're aging, and it involves standing on one leg. If you can do it for 30 seconds with no problem, you're doing pretty well. If, however, you struggle with it, you might officially be old. And to be more specific, they recommend you try it on your non-dominant leg. In other words, the leg that you would not use to kick a soccer ball, let's say. Oh, and if you can do it with your eyes closed, you're even healthier. Okay, put me down as being in favor of this idea, even though it probably will never happen in this country. But Norway just announced a new ban on social media for kids under the age of 15. In their words, tech companies are, quote, pitted against small children's brains. I have a hard time arguing with that. The Norwegian Prime Minister admits it's going to be a tough battle to enforce this, but he claims it's the government's duty to protect children from what he called the power of the algorithms. You can say whatever you want. The dude is not wrong. Okay, here's your clue for the Mindbender. This will happen 25 times each week in America on average, but it will most likely happen on Friday afternoons between 1 and 3. I couldn't do it. I'd be too nervous about dye packs. Oh, that's too easy of a clue. That totally gave it away. We'll confirm the answer here in just a moment. Okay, some science stories from this week. I call it News for Nerds. In animal news, there's a new AI program that can interpret the oinks from a pig to tell you whether they're happy or not. And a study found that cats can learn words faster than human babies. I think this is true. My cat, Niles the weirdo, he knows a lot of words. He just ignores me when I say them. Let me give you some Frankenstein-type news. Scientists in China report that they've revived a pig's brain after it had been dead for nearly an hour. Boy, it sounds like young Frankenstein, doesn't it? And although I hate to give it publicity, I hate even talking about this, a radio station in Poland replaced all of its on-air talent with artificial intelligence this week. They're calling it an experiment to see if their listeners will connect with what they call virtual characters who will be reporting the news. Well, it's been nice knowing you. Okay, here's the answer to the Mindbender for today. What is most likely to happen on a Friday afternoon between 1 and 3? It's a bank robbery. Isn't it crazy to think it still happens that often? And for those of you listening in Colorado, you have the highest rate of bank robberies in the country. Colorado alone accounts for about 10% of the total. And that will do it for today's Mindbender. Thank you so much for being part of the club. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Dom Testa.